Well, hello. Welcome to Pepper's Echo. My name's Andre, and it's good to be back with you Sunday night, Sunday afternoon. And who have we got on the chat? Oh, White Zulu, Fiona, first one in. Hello, young lady, may I say. And thank you very much for the smash the like buttons. Buzzy, how are you keeping? I hope your week is at least turning for the better for this week over there. Oh, me wifey, I can't fluke from the beginning. How's it? Hendo, my main European connection. How's it going, buddy? And Hendo, what's it? It's infamous. Mr. Infamous. How's it going? So, how's your week been? Mine been, as I've said before, it has not been a bad week. It's just been uncomfortable, but otherwise, really, really good. Nothing much on the horizon. How's your week been? What's Buzzy got? Buzzy says, Eka Allison is celebrating her mother's 92nd birthday today, so she won't be here. Well, happy birthday, Allison's mother. And yes, of course she won't be here. She's got to spend it with her mother. It's such a special day. 92. That's making milestones. That's making milestones. But yep, down in the Bay. She's also down in the Bay. Lovely, lovely lady. Hello, Debbie. How are you keeping? Awesome, awesomeness to see you as well. Fantastically natical well. But yes, so the week has not been bad at all. I've been shoveling into my Bob Marley book. I've actually quite enjoying it very, very much so, more than what I thought I would, because I'm not much of a biography person. You know what I really, when someone goes in and we'll fight them on the lands, we'll fight them on the seas, and I grew up as a poor boy and into the politics I went, and then got thrown out when I actually caused a huge goldfish, snore. But I must say I'm actually quite enjoying Bob Marley's biography as such. So yeah, and as I said, the week has not been heavy, so I don't have very much to report back on, but yeah, a little uncomfortable at times. You know what? Oh, geez, sometimes I just want to go back to the classroom. I actually really, really miss my classroom so much. Yeah, Hendo, shoot, 92. That is a very good age to reach. Buzzy says 82. Sorry. Still a very good age to be at. Welcome to March. Yeah, the Ides of March are approaching. But yeah, welcome to March. So we finished January and February. Now we march. Isn't this the season or the month for protests? So we can march. You know, we can march with the Wits protests. But yeah, what Hendo says, Debbie can't find you on the WhatsApp groups. You need to DM about Angry Santa. Ooh. Who did you tick off that Santa's angry in March already? Oh, hectic stuff. But yeah, as I said, the week, nothing hectic. What you've been watching, let's take a look, see at what we're watching at the moment. Share my screen. Scream. Share audio with that too. We need to share that one. So, first of all, if you want to know what's going on from your side of the world, Allison, happy birthday to Allison's mom. Happy birthday, Allison's mom. Happy birthday, Allison's mom. How are you? Why are you here? You should be spending time with your mother. Endo, you and me both. I don't think I'm going to. I actually don't want to say it like that, but I don't know if I want to make that age. I don't want to know. I was actually at a restaurant last night, or should I say more like a little pub grub place, etc., just down Street 172. And it's like where all the little pubby places and that are and that. And I saw these old guys walking up and down the street. And first of all, the question was, why are they in Cambodia? Well, first of all, if you're on an American pension or a British pension, you can actually live quite comfortably in Cambodia. And that's why these old people are all, yeah. And they're walking up and down the streets. And I looked and I went and I said, please, hopefully that is not going to be me when I can't work anymore. And, you know, the old chappie's walking down the street through all the pub areas and everything like that. It's starting to come back with the tourists, the barang. Barang is foreigner. They call them barang, foreigner here in Cambodia. And I thought, oh Lord, please let that not be there. Or should I say, you know what, there, but for the grace of God go I, because, oh well, I don't know if I can make that. What's it? Only peppers and footakers. Yeah, I don't know. You know what they say? Don't turn your nose up at aging because it's a privilege granted to only a few. What can I say? You know what? I didn't want to hit 50. I swear I'm on borrowed time. I'm on borrowed time. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. But you and me both, Hendo. You and me both. So what do we have here? We've got a disco dancing. Let me just try and put that sharing back into there again. That didn't look too cool. There we go. We have from the other side of the world. If you want to know what's happening in your side of the world, from the other side of the world, and I think he's back at his side of the world. I did see that he was back in his side of the world again. So he has light to speak from. Colonel Chris Wyatt. Don't forget to pop over to his channel, and he is really lambasting the old cancer sticks over there. So good stuff for him. Always interesting, always really very knowledgeable, always fun to watch. And if you do enjoy your rugby, Hendo, I'm so far out with my rugby. I know the Stormers sadly beat the Sharks. I think it was a 23-29 or something like that, or 23-26. I'm not too sure. But yeah, if you do enjoy your rugby and you want some commentation on it, not to see the game. So if you can't watch your game, go and pirate it somewhere else. It's not going to be done on honest Colonel Chris Wyatt's channel. Rugby Ascendant is the place that you want to be. And then our very own, our neef, our Masterkind, yeah, jou Masterkind from the Cape, from the Eastern Cape, Nelson Mandela Bay, is a Ronaldo Gous. Yeah, always enjoying him, always enjoying him. And then our very own Poloni from Benoni is a Ruthless Ruth. No, Rebellious Ruth. I don't know why. Since the day I started, I keep on calling her Ruthless Ruth, but it's Rebellious. Yeah, Bulls played badly, but apparently they're going into africhters, coaches again. They're like, well, what about the coach? Yeah. Anyway, and then our very own Buzzy's moment. Buzzy, they say they'd like another moment from you one of these days. So, like, pull them up and go for it. I'm sure you're going to be able to do it. And then our very, very gracious lady in waiting, White Zulu, Fiona. Absolutely stunning and beautiful. I don't know. I have had a week, but yeah, a day ago, White Zulu chapter 37 came out. The College Science and the Sanatorium. Am I pronouncing that correctly? My pronunciation is going very Khmer over there, the site. You know, it's just the eyes are not seeing too well. Talking about eyes, I'm having a terrible time with my eyes. I'm suddenly finding out I have to wear these glasses more and more often. I'll show you, and you can tell me if I look like a noodle with them or not, because it's the last thing I want to do. What's it? The PE Scully is still sporting that dodgy hairstyle. Jose, our very own thug. I mean, Viking. Yeah, indeed. Very good man there. And if you would like to know more about White Zulu, you can go to whitezulubook.com, not just whitezulubook.com, the story of a misplaced South African. And there we can pick a photo gallery. I don't know. Let's go to 11 today and see. The Karoo and Omar Sahasi and Grandpapa or Papa and the children and our military man. If you want to see the rest, go and pop around there, as you can go around and see it. Right, let's remove that. Now, what I wanted to say is, I need to wear these things more and more often. I'm struggling. You know, when you're writing down and woo, you know, that P looks like a B and that I looks like an L, and things are not gelling too well, and it looks like LL and it's only one E, and so then I got to do this. And I feel like a right royal noodle. Because now, first of all, I haven't looked after my glasses too well, so they're a little bit messed up in the middle. So I've got these like little clouds there. And the top part, you can like check far. Yeah, I can check SA beaches. No, I'm kidding. But and then you got to like look through the bottom part. Now I'm like telling the lady at the optometrist, like, I can't see the computer screen too well. So she says, well, where do you put the computer screen? I said, well, eye level. She says, yeah, but move it down because you're checking through the bottom of your glasses to check this out. So now I sort of like sport my nostrils while I actually hold up over there to have them checking out. But yeah, so this is what I look with me specs on, and I feel like a right royal noodle with my specs on. But yeah, I am hopefully not going to have to wear them when I'm with you. But my eyes are absolutely suddenly. I don't know if it's the ouderdom, the age, or what. What's Fiona say? Hi everyone. The latest chapter of my book has just been updated. Chapter 37, the college science and the sanatorium. There we go, and there's the link for it as well. There's the latest link, Hendo post. Thank you very much. And Debbie says, enjoyed Fiona's recent reading. St. Anne's, those nuns teachers are nasty, not to mention the food. Nasty nuns. Sounds like a movie. No, I'm kidding. Henda, only you and I'll know that one. But anyway, yeah, Pepper Zeka, see birthday pic on the WhatsApp group. Did I forget someone's birthday? And now my WhatsApp group is logged out on the PC. Jeez, it would be like today that it logs out. Let's see if I can get it logged in and quickly check out what I have missed. I'm mortified. If I've missed somebody's birthday, I do apologize. And now it's taking about 5 years to load. We're going to get to that now, Buzzy. I hope I haven't forgotten somebody's birthday. White Zulu said the picture of the woman in the military uniform is her grandpa in World War I uniform. Debbie, glasses are for seeing. Try them. Yeah, it's the problem. I don't look so good. I told you the one about the Texan farmer who found this old man. He was selling this stunning stud-looking horse. It was brilliant. And he came, he says, well, there, sir, you were selling this horse, but you're only asking $100. He says, yeah, sir, it don't look so good. He looks at it, he says, oh, no, man, it looked fine to me. Look at this. It's muscular. And he measured up by hands and, wow, look at the height on this horse. And this is an absolute phenomenal horse. I'm not giving you $100. I'm giving you $300 for this horse. I'll take this horse. He says, yeah, but sir, it don't look so good. He says, oh, don't talk rubbish. Look at this horse. It is looking prime. Jumps on the horse and he rides out to the farm. And next thing, as he's riding out, first thing, this horse runs smack into the fence post. Gets him back up again, smack into the next fence post. Suddenly he returns this horse to this old man. He says to the old man, he says, geez, he says, what's wrong with you? He says, this horse is bloody blind. He says, well, you know, sir, I told you, don't look so good. So I don't know if I don't look so good. And that's the only thing with the glasses. Try them. I don't know. My WhatsApp's not logging in. It's not logging in. Let me just see if there's something I've like missed out. A birthday pic or something like that. It would blow out on me now when I really, really need it the most. So sorry if I'm going to give you a little bit of dead air and absolutely not bring in eye contact. No, I don't want start messages. I want linking devices. Link a device. And it's been on WhatsApp all the time. Just that all of a sudden. There we go. Let's take a look-see. Pepper's Echo. Oh, lovely. Let's share that photo. I've got to share the photo. There we go. Alison and your mum. Wonderful, wonderful. It looks so beautiful. Happy birthday, Alison's mum. Happy birthday, Alison's mum. How old are you now? No, okay. We're not going to go that way, huh? And what else did we get there? Oh no, that is very, very sad news as well. I don't know if it's true. Mark Pilgrim lost his battle with cancer this morning. He fought valiantly to the very end. Mark passed peacefully with his fiancée Adrian at his home. Oh, that is absolutely, absolutely devastating news that I've just heard now. That is really, really very, very sad. And future generations will never know about this unique relationship. That is very, very sad news to hear, people. Really, very, very sad news. I'm so sorry to hear that. And our hearts and prayers and thoughts go out to Mark Pilgrim's fiance and family as well. Okay, what's to say? No nuns but rotten teachers. Hendo says it's old age, but kyk en skryf baie skeef sonder die. Yeah, no, after a couple of years, I think I see quite well. I don't know, Can be a security guard. I can see in the front and the back at the same time. I couldn't believe the difference I got. Yeah, the sad thing is the first time I actually got glasses, I was actually sitting in my office in Incredible Connection, and I had this. My office had a big, like, one-way glass that I could see out. People had a mirror on the way in, and my technician had left his glasses on the desk, and I picked up the glasses, and I was just like, how intelligent do I look? But I could never read the signage outside, but it never bothered me because it was on the floor. So I thought, well, that's how it is. And I put his glasses on. Next thing, wham, I could read all the signage. Okay, that I could understand for being far-sighted. But now I'm having to sickle to see the near stuff, which is like, not so cool. Yeah. Allison's mum, who has had a birthday. Yes, I've got that. Beautiful. Don't look so good. I think the glasses make you look smarter. I'll have to wear them then. This is the news read by Michael de Morgan. Andre Pepper Marie shall be reading the news this evening. The EFF has at last seen their ass. The ANC has stepped down, noting that they could not get Eskom up. Even Viagra in the coal would not do that. No, I'm kidding. Let's not get that going. But yeah. Yes, rest in peace. An awesome man. I mean, we all know Mark Pilgrim. He played an absolutely awesome role in radio and as a personality himself. So, oh, wow. That was really quite shocking to read about that now. Hendo says the beer goggles works better than the prescribed glasses. Hendo, I'm just going to have to drink beer before I go to school in the morning, buddy. Going to have to drink beer before I can go to school in the morning. I can see clearly now. I can see clearly now. Lorraine has gone. The beer goggles works better than the prescribed glasses. Yes, yep, indeed so, indeed so. So, what was I chatting about today? So, I was looking at things this week, and I know last week we spoke about, what, should you make a change? How should you make a change? Should you be, how big should you change be that you're making? And I always talk about making decisions because I always believe life is based on decisions. It is just that simple. Life is based on decisions. From simple decisions where your decision to tune in and listen to me blabber this afternoon is a decision. Your decision to go, should I get a glass of water? Shouldn't I get a glass of water? From the morning when you open your eyes, you either decide to wake up or you decide to hit the snooze button. I used to have it taped so well that I opened my eyes and I decided to get up because one of the ladies said, and I can't remember which lady said it, but she said, when you wake up, decide to get up. Get up, stand up next to your bed, even if you're a little bit wonky or whatever. That extra 20 minutes or extra 15 minutes is not going to make a big difference in your life. It's actually just going to make things worse. So you need to decide to get up. If you don't decide to get up, that means you decide to lie in and go to sleep. But it's all decisions. So your life is consistent of decisions consistently. And it's just the depth and size of decisions that you're currently making. And sometimes the smaller ones are making bigger impacts than the little ones. Example, smaller decision, should I get up or should I hit the snooze button, can make a decision of whether you're going to suffer stress and anxiety trying to get to work in time, trying to get to the meeting in time, trying to get to... I have a terrible time getting to places on time, strangely enough. And I like to be on time and I like to be, available for people when it needs to be. But my biggest problem is I don't want to sit around rolling balls. So I don't want to get there too early, but I don't want to get there late. So my attempt to get there on time usually puts me a minute or two over, which is really, really bad. I'm actually trying to overcome that. But it is a bad decision on my part to try and avoid having to socialize when I know you don't believe it, but I'm actually pretty much an introvert. But yeah, it's just, I don't want to do that. So my decision. So yeah, life is based on decisions. I just want to actually share another picture, yeah? Alison popped this out and she says, Orbot, please teach us how to make lemon cheesecake. Not being funny, but that looks rather scrumptious indeed. But yeah, so life being full of decisions, let's just take a look what's stuck in the any decisions. Yeah, any decisions is better than none. But even when you decide not to make a decision, you've still made a decision not to make a decision. You don't escape making a decision in life. And as soon as we actually get to realize that, we will be able to make better decisions once we accept the fact that we need to be making decisions. And decisions are made from small, waking up in the morning, going to shower. You know what? The attitude with which I wake up, the attitude with which I go to work. You know what? It's all a decision, and it's stuff that I falter over for. What's Tulu say? I'm waiting for electrically powered wheelchairs sometime with next couple of weeks. It'll open up a whole new world to me as I can finally leave. That will be wonderful. We're holding thumbs, toes, and knotting other things as well, which will hopefully get up to there. Hendo says, Debbie, to braai or not to braai, soap or not to. You see, Hendo has hectic decisions that he's got to make. So yeah, Waitulu says that's what's keeping me going now. The anticipation of a life-changing event. DVD. Hello, Oshtokolosh. That's your saying. I suppose you're going to want royalties for that. But yeah, he helped me today with a sound bar for my TV so that I can. And oh, what an extremely frustrating event. I was eventually becoming despondent because no, there's an audio auxiliary cable port in the back of your TV. So get the whole sound bar, bring it in, everything, and connecting it to the TV, and there's no auxiliary cable. So we had to get an optical digital audio cable. And fortunately, here in Cambodia, you look on it's like gum trees, Command 24. You find it, you go, oh, I want this cable. And the guy says, okay, I'll deliver it to you now for $2 delivery fee. Okay, there we go. And 20 minutes later, they deliver it. Much faster than some of the other online deliveries that I know. What's Debbie said? It's DVD. Hendo says, but delicious. Now Arbot is responsible for our way more. Yeah, Arbot, you're responsible for the fact that I look like a chubby freaking hamster saving food for winter. Thank you. Waitulu, I will paint the town red again. Here come. Indeed. So yeah, so eventually, if it wasn't for old it's DVD, he would. He got it all sorted out for me. He's on the phone and he's like, yeah. And Pierre's on the phone, yeah, deliver. And wonderful, 20 minutes later. So that's the wonderful thing about Cambodia. You see something, you phone or you message, can you get this to me? Yes. Can you deliver? $2 delivery fee? Okay. See you in 20 minutes. Bam, it's delivered. On a Sunday evening, and I think it was about 5:30, somewhere around there, 5:30. Tell me where else you'll get something like that delivered. But yes, jumping onto decisions. So making decisions. But my question today isn't the decisions. We'll chat about decisions another time as well. My question today is the fact of the matter that how do you know you are doing something right? Because we spoke last time. And it's probably a challenge, and not many know. Well, not many, and nobody knows what I'm got up my sleeve. Nothing up this sleeve. Nothing up this sleeve. But yeah, how do you know when you're doing the right thing? How do you know you're putting effort into something that you should be doing, or that you shouldn't be doing? That you should rather leave it and not put effort into it at all. I'm going to use a little bit of a biblically inclined thing, but you know what, Lord, please make sure that I'm doing the right thing. You know what? And everyone goes, oh, you know what? If it's meant to be, the doors will open. If it's not, they'll close. And I'm like, could you do me one favor? Please don't wait until I have to bang my head against the door 20 times before I realize it's closed. Just tune me now. Bro, it's not for you, so that I can stop putting the effort into it. You know what? Am I putting the effort into moving or wanting to move? Am I putting the effort into looking for another job? Am I putting the effort into a relationship? Am I putting the effort into whatever I'm putting the effort into? Is it what I should be doing? And is it worthwhile what I'm doing? Is it what I need to do? Or is it what I want to do? Is it an emotional decision? Is it a spur of the moment decision? Is it something that I shouldn't be doing? Although it looks lucrative, some things just don't, is not a black and white, cut and dry. So how do you know, and what do you do when you do this? I mean, yeah, let's take a look. See, throw it there. Debbie says, trust one's gut feeling. I have an extremely upset gut. You know what? It's like, yes, I'm doing the right thing, but I'm not too sure if it's the right thing. What's Enda say? SA potholes are actually called road caves. Learned that today. Yeah. Debbie's got a quote there. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper, go forth and accomplish your dreams and desires. Yes. And that means where you should be going is where the doors are open. Where you shouldn't be going is where the doors are closed. But while you're on earth, you were also given a very, very specific gift called free will. And that is my concern. Is it my will? Is it my free will? Or am I just looking for trouble in the process of where I'm going or what I'm doing? And no, I'm not doing it intently, facetiously, or harmfully, or anything like that. But is it something that I have decided? What is my decision on this? My decision might have been incorrect. How do you know? How should you approach this? Should you just go and go and go and actually give yourself a cutoff point? Should you make your decisions smart? What's it? Specific, measured, attainable, reachable, and what's the other one? Practical or something like that. But there's a lovely little smart thing that goes with it. But how do you realize? How do you know whether this is the right thing? Do you give yourself a cutoff time? You know what? If you're looking for another work, or if you're looking to move, or you're looking whatever, you're looking to buy a car, maybe. Yes, you can. Maybe it's not. Maybe this is fine. You know what? I know I'm shooting in a bush, but it's something that I've faced this week, and it's like, you know what? Am I going to hammer my head against this door? Because sometimes it takes a lot of there's a lot of deciding to be done. You know what? Decisions. But that's fine. Then you decide on something. But then you're not too sure if it's the right thing because you've got two options. Most of the time, we've always got options. Even when we think we're out of options, there's options. But I'm not out of options. It's just decisions. So when do you know that you're on the right track? You don't. And so when do you cut it loose? Watsulu says, so driving now is called spelunking. Debbie says your brain and your gut are playing yin yang with you. Yeah, I think it passed yin yang a while ago. What Sender say? Have you applied for SA's new electricity minister post with that new? I would like to show you the light at the end of the tunnel. It will be my train bringing coal to Eskom, and that is my application for Eskom. Yeah, right. Geez, Endo. Thanks for the vote of confidence, buddy. Hello, Nick. How are you keeping? Great. Quit thinking about. Let's see what Dave says. Quit thinking about what you can do and start focusing on what we can do. Yeah, you know what? It is something that you can do, but obviously you've got to apply a lot. That's why I say it's not something. It's not a decision of, you know what, should I buy a packet of chips or not? It's a big decision. As I said, like in the case of moving, buying a car, changing work. It's something that will affect your life in general. And you feel good about it and excited about it. But the thing is, it is it's a difficult situation. You've got to go out for it or you don't. If you don't go after it, you don't get it. But there's no guarantee that you get it. Same as when you're buying a car. You go out for the car, you've got to buy it. There's no guarantee that you can get financing, but by the time you've picked the car, you've put everything together, the whole toots, and then you don't get it. Was it worth it in the end? I'm using maybe a bit of a watered down version at the moment, but you know what? Is it because decisions, quite big decisions to make changes, do create a certain amount of anxiousness and anxiety, emotions, etc., etc., and we have enough of that in our lives without having to, how should I say, look at adding to it for something that isn't worth it in the end. You know what? But then again, they say it's better to have been there and failed than to have regretted not being there, or something to that effect. I'm not too sure. Endo's still in the potholes. Yeah, you can take a freebie bath in them, so saw it online. Talking about things, we're talking about free will and stuff like that, and I saw an excellent thing, and I don't know if it was a truck driver or something like that, who said, you know what? Why do bad things happen to people? Why are we being sent to hell? And the question there was, we're all on our way to hell. We're actually being saved from going to hell. So made a little bit of sense. I don't want to actually go biblical on you totally, but I mean, we're all on our way to hell. We get born into going in a one direction, and it's one way down. And it's actually how we actually perform and accept. And there's many different people on the stream, so I don't want to push into any certain directions. But yeah, and talking about certain directions, wow, the last city church was down compared to the previous ones. I don't know if you guys saw. If many of you saw it starting without sound, bite the bullet. I did restart it with sound. It was my fault. I must actually try and cut out that bit over there. So I did fix it, and it started over with sound as well. Nick, yeah, is lot, says Hendo. Hey, Hendo is crapping all over everyone. Hey, cockle 8. Yeah, I saw that. No light at the end of the tunnel. Is the train bringing the wet coal with, I don't know, the inferior coal put together so that it can sabotage the pipes? Shame, old Andre de Ruyter is also just being nailed by the ANC. These flipping people can't take responsibility. And that's another thing we're talking about, decisions, is actually making responsibility. It's an incoming train. What's it? Thanks, Andre. Just don't let the train hit you. Its lights might be off here. Debbie says, believe and have faith, will be well. Trust yourself. Yeah, it's good to say trust yourself. I'm terrible. The last person you want to ask to walk on water right now is me, because I will sink straight out of the boat, and not because of my weight alone. But yeah, especially when it comes to big things like that. I mean, when I go to town, I come back and I'm like, should I have bought that or shouldn't I have bought that? Should I have bought that? Shouldn't I have bought that? I should have probably just waited a bit. It's like, wow, you know what? You've bought it, just enjoy it. And I'm like, oh no, you're going to suffer. And that's small things. So when you're actually making big decisions, and that's why I say, how do you know? You got to trust your gut. I don't know. My point is, you've got to just go for it. White Zulu says, I don't have any anxieties or insecurities. Phenomenal. That's fantastic. I suffer them every day. Nick says, life is what happens when you've made other plans. Exactly. A friend of mine in South Africa and myself hardly get to phone each other, and we speak quite regularly, but we struggle to get to phone each other, because I know when I get home and it's like 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the evening, say 6, 7 o'clock in the evening, I know it's like 1, 2 o'clock in South Africa, and I know, Banner's working, so why I can't phone him now. I've got to hang in there. And then like 10, 11 o'clock, I'm getting into bed. And like 12 o'clock, Berno sends like a message going, are you awake? And I'm like, yeah, right. I'm awake. There we go. Thank you. Better to have tried and failed to than never have tried at all. That's something that I also hold to myself, is to say, you know what, go all out, go for it, and be responsible about what you're doing. So don't, like, here's an example. If I decide that I'm not happy where I am working and I go all out to find another job, and I'm thinking to myself, you know what, isn't it better the devil you know? Everything's actually better everywhere else, etc., etc., etc. Now I must just like stick it out here because I'm probably going to make a big mistake if I move. But if you think that it's important enough to move, then you need to go all out and actually find something. Go for the interviews, apply. Go for interviews. But accept the fact that you might not get it now. You might not get it later. You might get it in a year's time. You might be meant to stay where you are. But yes, I agree. Then you have at least tried and maybe failed. I wouldn't say failed, but I mean, you've tried and it hasn't materialized, but at least you wouldn't regret not trying. However, what you need to do is be reasonable about it. Yes, being unreasonable about it is, I need to find a new job. So I resign and start applying all over the place. And next thing, I'm without a job for a year and I actually should have stayed in my job. That's a bit of a problem that we should have. What Sender say? What train? The railway's gone AWOL expropriated. Yeah, hover train, bro. Hover train. Debbie says a decision might make a decision. It changes the projector. It changes the projector. May not see the results immediately, but over a period of time. Yeah, that's the other thing. I don't think making a big decision like that could actually harm you as long as you're handling it within reason. And the other thing is, never make a decision. What's my one friend always say? Never make a decision when you're depressed, and never make a decision when you're ecstatically happy. Both of them will get you into trouble, because when you're depressed, you're probably going to want to like end your life. When you're ecstatically happy, you're probably going to want to give away all your money, and then you're going to want to end your life. I've just got a WTF fact over here. A guy won 8 million, I think it was. He's a dustbin guy, and he spent, I don't know, gambling and prostitutes and goodness knows whatever. 8 years later, he is back to doing dustbins again. Yeah, so, you know, that's another thing that you're saying. Very, very wise thing over here is, you may learn from your endeavors. It might not be what you wanted to learn from them, but it will come through. Everyone's in strike in the UK. Good grief, except the garbage collectors. A good one, at least there. Good one. Ask yourself if you want or need the stuff before you buy it. Yeah, no, definitely. But most of the stuff that we buy these days, we want. We need to buy groceries. But like, for instance, I bought a sound bar today. I didn't want it. I didn't need it. I actually wanted it because our TV makes sound all around it. So you're upstairs, sounds like the TV's blaring like mad. And you think, geez, is the person watching TV deaf or something? Yay! Turn up the hearing aid or something. And you go downstairs and you go and sit in front of the TV, and it's like, you're lip reading, and you're flipping surround sounds, hoing the sound all around except in front of you. So that's why I got it, but I didn't really need it, but I wanted it. Small things, you do make little, I should say, sacrifices or exclusions for that. I'm talking about, I suppose every decision has a certain pro and con to it that you're going to make. Some are just a little bit heavier than others. And as I said, one that I'm facing is taking a lot of thought and puts a lot of process into it. And you know what? I've got to sit back and say, this may not materialize. But regardless of whether it materializes or not, I will come out stronger in the end. Number two, I will face acceptance because I have a certain timeline for everything as well. I know that between this month and that month and that month, when it reaches here, I'm going to make this decision. When it reaches there, it will be that decision. The bottom line is that you put everything into the decisions that you make, because that is one thing that we were talking about, the ANC. They can't accept responsibility for their decisions. And that's the one thing that we've got to learn to accept. once again, I'm talking about decisions, is taking responsibility for your decisions. Because if you don't wake up at 5 o'clock when your alarm clock goes down, and you pause it and pause it and pause it until 6 o'clock, you've got to take responsibility for the fact that you now have to double time to get to work or to your appointment or something to that effect. Your anxiety levels raised. You are not as happy as what you wanted to be, but your decision was in the first place to snooze your alarm. You were saying projector, yeah, trajectory, correct. Yeah, let's go back to that one that you were saying. Make a decision, it changes the trajectory and may not see the results immediately. Yes, and you may learn something different. What's DVD say? If it's tech, Andre, and I need it, Andre's especially keyboards. DVD is playing on my soft spot. I have an extreme affinity for keyboards. My wife will tell you that as well. And I will go through and I'm like, wow, those keys are nice. Feel the typing on this keyboard. And I'm like, what did you buy? I came home with another keyboard. Did you need it? Ooh, not really, but I wanted it so badly. So yeah, but anything. Well, I love gadgets. I love gadgets. Nick says, one lesson I've learned is not to make big decisions when I'm emotional. That's it. When you're highly down or terribly down or highly elated, be careful. It's like my friend says, you know what? If you're terribly, terribly down, you make an emotional decision, you'll make irrational decisions. The same as when you're extremely excited or happy. You know, you walk into a pub and next thing you're buying everyone rounds because you're feeling so great. And tomorrow you're feeling down again because you actually spent like 3,000 Rand buying everyone drinks. So yeah, I agree with you there because I'm extremely emotional person. When I say emotional, it doesn't mean I get upset and things, but I do have a workup in me. You know, whether I'm happy or I'm sad, I'm an extreme person. You know, work on extremes. Hendo says, never make a decision on an empty stomach. Well, that's not difficult for me. My stomach's never empty, as you can see. My cheeks are even stuffed in them. But yeah, and never shop for groceries when you're hungry. I've heard that one before as well. Yeah, you tend to buy every little bit of snack that you can get. What's Debbie said? Totally agree with this. Becomes impulse buying. Definitely. You start buying. So go and have a meal and then go and buy groceries. You'll just buy washing up liquid and deodorant. White Sulu says, I never ever owned a credit card. As if I can afford something, then I don't buy it. You never ever had to rent a car yet either, huh? Because they won't take anything but a credit card. I had to get, because I don't have the cleanest record in South Africa. Sorry for you guys to think I'm a squeaky clean person. So those glasses don't make me as clever as what you think I am. But yeah, I had to get a credit card here in Cambodia, not for the sake of having a credit card, but for the sake of when I got to South Africa so I could rent a blasted car, because nobody, even Rent a Cheapy, Rent a Dent, and all those people would give you a card. Doesn't matter how much cash you put down. Doesn't matter if you had a debit card. Doesn't matter if you left the passport with them, whatever. You would not be able to rent a car. Bottom line, credit card or no car. Easy. Hendo, communes never take responsibility for their cock decisions, especially the ANC. And that's the problem. I think it's taking responsibility for the decisions you're making, especially when you're actually making a big decision. And once again, as I said, small decisions can have big effects. And some decisions have harder work behind them. Because if I want to obtain something or I want to attain something, once again, whether it's moving, changing work, whether it's buying a car, whether it's maybe proposing to someone, whether I need to commit, whether I need to move in with somebody or not, etc., etc. There's many decisions that sometimes can increase your anxiety levels. The only thing that you've got to remember is with every decision, there's a responsibility to take, whether you like it or not. Some are able to be to be handled, some aren't. But yeah, it's something that we've got to take a look at, and some will take a lot of work and may not materialize. You might put through all the work of wining and dining, dating, getting engaged, planning the wedding, etc., etc. It falls through. Okay, I'm not saying expect it to, but you've come out with the responsibility, or you wine and dine, you do the proposal, you plan the wedding and everything to that effect, and now you're stuck. You can't date anyone you want to anymore. You got kids. Your life gets all changed into you don't have a single life anymore. That's that is a responsibility you take for your decision. And yes, are you prepared to take it? It's not a good or a bad responsibility. It's just the fact that can you carry that responsibility? Ever owned a credit card? Commies. Keyboard fetish. That's new. Yeah. So, in other words, we are responsible for our actions and chooses. Yes. You're responsible from the smallest thing that you make to the biggest thing that you make. And I think the only thing that we've got to learn to do is sometimes we need to calculate the risk. And as Nick said earlier on, never make the decisions when you're emotionally down, emotionally high. Try and keep your decisions for when you are neutral. Because I've made very bad decisions sometimes. I like walked out of work some days. I mean, 2 weeks ago, I walked out of work. Wow, I was like, that's it. Onto line, I'm applying for a new job. Not exactly the best decision to make when you're emotionally upset with work, because you might just be walking into something that is wrong, because right now you'll take anything you can get, and it's not what you want to do. What you do want to do is, if you want to change work, is sit down, sit back and go, right, let me calculate what I'm looking at, where I'm going to go, and now I'm going to follow my journey and actually go on that. And it might not happen today, it might not happen tomorrow, but I've got to keep on putting work to it as such. And not that I am looking hectically at the moment. I did sort of come half and half to my senses. Not that I wouldn't take something if it came my way. Waitula says, never had to rent a car yet either. Lucky me. Yeah, indeed. Debbie says, too true. I ended up carrying a 15 kg cake and having to catch a bus as they wouldn't accept my partner's credit card for car rental. Hence, now I own a credit card. Unfortunately, the sadness is that you've got to keep up with the madness of society these days, in that sense. Right, so this is maybe you're drinking again. Disappointments are part of life. We all have the t-shirt front and back. They say experience is something you gain just after you don't need it anymore. And you know what? And it came off somebody with a job application. If you work long enough in a work and you gain the experience, you don't need it anymore to be able to get a job. But when you're looking for work, they say you don't have experience. But when you've got the job, then you get experience. So somehow experience is something you get as soon as you don't need it anymore, because you need it when you're looking for the work, but you don't need it when you've got the work. Well, I suppose it's important that you need it when you've got the work. I am on Lent. No alcohol or takeaways until Easter. Wow. I'll lend alcohol and I'll lend a burger from next door. No, I'm kidding. I actually, because we don't have Easter and things and stuff like that, we didn't in South Africa, but it just blows straight over me over here. So I am very, very guilty for that. Very, very guilty. But Debbie, I'll give you a salute there. That is absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. So yes, making a decision is really, really important. Whether you need to do it or whether you don't need to do it is something, yes, that is a bit of a gut feeling, but you need to, I'd say, take the specific from Nick that says, were you emotional when you made the decision? Were you on a high or were you on a low? Or were you level-headed when you decided to actually endeavor this project or this change in life? And I'm specifically looking at something that's possibly going to be not like today. It's not like a decision, should I wake up or not? It's more of a long-term decision, which is going to take a lot of smaller steps and things that you've got to put in place to actually achieve the end result. And you are not sure if the end result is actually going to materialize, and you just don't want to go through all the work if it's not going to materialize. And that's something of a person that I am. Which is what creates most of my procrastination, is the fact of the matter that I like to see A to Z. If I can't see the end of something that I got to start now, I don't want to start it, because I need to see the end. And it's unfortunate That doesn't happen. You need to start something and work step for step for step towards it. And along your journey, you are going to have to change direction, etc. It's like an aeroplane flying from one city, country to another. Most of the time, 90% of the time, the plane is off course and they've got to change it and change it and change it and change it so that it keeps on going on course. And in the end, it lands at its destination. How long it takes depends on winds, etc., weather conditions, flight conditions, weight, pressures, I don't know, everything. I mean, I've been on flights that have taken different times. I mean, we flew from here to Vietnam, took, I don't know, about hour 15, hour 20 minutes, and then we flew back in about 50 minutes. Big difference. But I'm not saying the one pilot was better than the other, but what I am saying is, for me, it's a bad trait to want to see the end and then procrastinate, because I can't see the end. And only once I've actually got everything worked out to see the end, I will then endeavor to start. And sometimes we've got to, once again, Debbie, you said it at the beginning, have faith and actually start something and know that you are going to have to alter as you go along. I mean, no builder has started to plan and never ever had to alter something to get it right in the end. So A, let's make sure that we're not emotional. B, let's note that the end result is going to be achieved, not necessarily in the favor of which we would like to. Sometimes it will be different and sometimes it won't be handed to you. If you don't try, you'll never know. And if you don't see the end, doesn't mean you shouldn't be starting, because you will need to change direction many times along your journey. Let's take a look. I've left out a whole lot of chats in the way. Good for you. Good for you. Everyone's giving you a good heads up there, Debbie. Well done. Debbie says, I guess I have to ask. There we go. I guess we have to ask, do our decisions have consequences? I think all our decisions have consequences. Don't stone me. If you throw something at me now, I'm sorry, but it's just my opinion. All our decisions have consequences based on the size of the endeavor for the for the endeavor of the decision. As I said, deciding to wake up on a weekday morning, for me, if I don't get up at 5:30, and sometimes I don't get up until after 6, but after 6, I know I've got a lot more stress and pressure on my shoulders, because I've got to, like, now get ready. I got to get to work. Am I going to get to work? What if somebody phones in sick? I'm running a step behind all the time. Yes, I make it to work on time. Yes, I end up having my coffee. And yes, if nothing goes wrong and everything's sweet and smooth, it's fine. But if something hits the cog over there, I'm absolutely thrown to the ground. If I get up at 5:30, I'm maybe a little bit tired. I wake up in the shower. But you know what? By just after 6, I'm dressed, I'm ready. I can actually go and sit down and have a cup of coffee and a cigarette on the front, and actually wait for the tuk-tuk to come and fetch me. And I'm actually in a far better, quieter mood when going. That's the consequence. But another job could mean a life change for you. Moving to a different house, city, neighborhood could make a bigger change, could make a different change. Buying a car could make a change in not having to catch the bus. Buying a new car could probably mean you're going to pay more for the new car, but it's going to cost you less in repairs. And I'd rather be paying off on something new than having to repair something all the time. There's so many things that you need to think of. But I do believe that every decision, just, you know what, the consequence of tuning into Pepper's Echo, I mean, you're going to have to listen to Andre blabbing for an hour, and it's going to, like, ears bleeding in the end. But thank you very much. I really appreciate your endeavors, guys. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just, I feel that every decision, and it's just my personal feeling. You're saying, I guess we have to ask, do our decisions have consequences? I don't think the question is, do they have consequences? It's the matter of, can we carry the consequence? Are we prepared to carry the consequence of the decision we are going to make? Because all decisions have consequences, as far as I'm concerned. I'm not writing the book on decisions there. Yes, thank goodness for course corrections. What's it? I am so broke, I can't procrastinate. Buzzy. Yeah. Yes. Thank goodness for course correction. Yes. And that's it. We've got to trust course correction, which is something I have trust issues with. And I need to realize, there we go. White Zulu says autopilot. Yeah, autopilot. Autopilot was provided by Ashcom. It's off today. It's on load shedding. Mayday, mayday. Oh, yeah. Yeah, but buy a good make and model. We're looking. Debbie says, I want to go to Ireland, just waiting to win the lotto. I suppose that's a fair decision to make. The consequence is that you might never go because the lotto is 1 in a million. But then again, the possibility that you would be that 1 in a million. The consequence of your decision there is, yes, you will go if you win the lotto. Can you carry the consequence? I don't think there's too much to carry until you actually win it. So there's your planning. I'm fine where I am. I'm making the best of what I can, and I'm going to run my happy life until I win the lotto. And then I'm going to Ireland. I would be loving to join you there. You need a gardener in Ireland? Where to? Yeah, is me. I would love to live in Ireland. I really would. Although I do believe it's probably one of the most expensive places to live. White Zulu, Fiona, you'd be able to tell us a little bit more. Hendo, I think you might know a little bit more there. Buy a good make and model of car. Buy a good make and model of used car and you'll be fine. That's what I've always done. Yeah, they always say they don't make them like they used to. Yeah, I think thanks for the heads up there. Yeah, I think the bottom line is, can we carry the consequence? Because that's the little na that I've had this week. Is I'm on a trajectory, as you would say, and it's taking a lot of I wouldn't say physical. There is work to be done, but it's also taking a lot of emotional. It's taking a lot of mental strain as well, and it is creating a certain bar of anxiety. So, can I take that? That's a consequence of actually following up this project or endeavor that I'm looking at. And B, would I accept the outcome? Is the next thing. If the outcome wasn't what I wanted it to be. And C, am I prepared to make the changes that need to be made to achieve this? This is something that I cannot see the end of. I know what the end needs to be. I know I'm flying from Cape Town to Durban, but I don't know if I'm going to be on course all the time, and that is going to take my effort to keep it on course all the time. And the possibility is, now I'm not going to talk air crash here, but the possibility is that we run out of fuel and end up in Bloemfontein. We can't carry on. How's that for just avoiding air crash totally? What's in there? Say autopilot by Eskom. We all go in our glory then. I'm telling you, they'll have given us inferior fuel and the coal will be wet and the tar won't be able to take the wheels. Bed. Debbie White Zulu says, I'll be there in a heartbeat. Probably going to Ireland. I'd love to go to Ireland. I know the climate in Ireland is worse than in England. You know what? I can do grey skies 363 days out of 365. I just can't do heat so much. Where's Hendo say? Ireland too cold and pisses with constant rain with many gold digging leprechauns. And White Zulu says, especially on the North Atlantic side. I know, and that's what keeps Ireland so beautiful and fresh and clean and green, is that wonderful, fresh, refreshing rain and greenness. And oh man, why would you not want to go to Ireland? It's just we can't afford to go to Ireland. Debbie, when you win the lotto and you go to Ireland, my name is Sipho and you need a garden boy. I will pull the weeds from your garden to keep it green even when it is raining. But yeah, I think, as we said, I mean, let's take a look. Hendo, you made the decision that you had to go overseas. Fiona, you had a lot of decisions, if you read your book, that you had to make with so many consequences that you carried. And they had to be made. And many times you didn't see the end. And this is, as I said, My wrestling match this week, and I suppose it's come out more than what it should have come out, is on decisions and consequences of decisions, which has possibly been because that is the crux of the matter of if you are going on an endeavor or attempting to endeavor something that is going to uh, change an event or life place or a marker in your life. Should you do it or shouldn't you do it? And how do you know if you should be continuing to do it and that you're not busy with a dead end? Is the fact of the matter that you should be correcting all the time. You should not be making it when it's emotional, and that you need to accept the consequence that it might not materialize. And how are you going to handle that? And I pretty much have made my decision on that. I know what I'll do if I don't, and I know what I do if I do. And there were a couple of stumbling blocks that we've already had to navigate. And as things become clearer, I would probably be able to be more clearer. At the moment, I'm speaking in code, and everyone's like looking at me going, huh? What the hell are you talking about? But yeah, there's a couple of consequences, but it's actually nice speaking it through with you guys because we actually have this like nice chat, and then we're going to potholes and things and that as well, and all that wonderful stuff. But yeah, we're running to an hour's time now as well. First time I went, they thought kids were throwing stones at me as the sun shining, but it was hailing. Still loved it. Friendly play. I've never been to Ireland. My grandfather, he came from Ireland. He looks like a little leprechaun. I wish I could have gone to Ireland. I just don't know if I could afford to stay there. We've actually just postponed trips and that. What is Whitezilla says? Sorry, there we go. Immigrating is like leaping off a cliff in the pitch dark. Yes, it is. But I'm not saying it has to be immigrating. But any kind of life altering decision or endeavor that you go on, like a moral compass, a set of values that guide our decision making. Thank you very much. Beautifully wrapped up. Affects our actions. It's a leap of faith. You know what? They always go, well, you know what? Look before you leap. But then there's the opposite. He who hesitates is lost. So what are you going to do? Are you going to look before you leap? Or are you going to hesitate and lose? I was watching Billions today, and he said, I need to look before I leap. And the Russian guy said, yes, sir. You look before you leap, but don't forget to leap. So maybe that is. What's it? Moray-ish, Irish. Saw my name carved in a boat there. That's a sign, Debbie. That's a sign. You were wanting signs? There we go. We want signs. That boat went to Ireland. You're on your way to Ireland. It's in Ireland. That's where you need to be. What's it? I need that alcohol. None is affecting my typing skills. Well, guys, it's been an hour that I've actually been chewing your ears off. You've made life a little bit clearer for me as I look at endeavoring on certain things within life, which, as I say, are not life altering in a physical way of being, but life altering in mental, emotional, stable ways, if I can put it to you that way as well. And taking a look at it. The bottom line, bringing out the fact that are you prepared to accept the responsibility of the decisions you make? So you're going to need to decide to do it. B, you're probably not going to see the end of it. You need to change direction as you're going along. And then you also need to accept the fact that there's going to be a time that you need to make a decision whether to continue with the endeavor or whether to actually change course totally and say, you know what, there's a hailstorm or a lightning storm in Durban. We are now going to take course to Johannesburg and actually land there. And then, of course, as Nick said, you need to actually take a look and not make the decision when you are emotional. I think that's the biggest decision. Our biggest thing that we need to take a look at is making a big decision when you're emotional. When you're emotional, you can make a decision not to be emotional, but it's not that easy because you're emotional. And nobody must tell an emotional person not to be emotional because then it makes them even more emotional. That was rather emotional. But yeah. So, look before you leap, but don't forget to leap is what we'll end up with. Guys, thank you very, very much. Love you all to bits. Stickant! All the echoes out there. You have an absolutely awesome week ahead of you. Hendo, Debbie, White Zulu, Buzzy, Uh, Debbie, Allison, enjoy your mother's birthday. Nick, thank you very much for coming on as well. Who have I left out? DVD, my wifey. I'm just scrolling up and down to try and remember. Please remind me if I've actually dropped somebody off there as well. But yeah, may your consequences be easy. May your decisions be few. And may they all be correct. And may you learn to correct your flight controls. And may that autopilot be awesome and not employed by Eskom. From my side, take care, be good, and remember, if you can't be good, at least be kind. Cheers.